The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What's up? Hey everybody, how are you? It's finally Friday. It's my favorite time of the week, and I hope you are having a great and wonderful time being here with me and you. And the doctor's in the house. It's me and the doctor kicking it like two grown adults. He's a little bit grown and more grown than me, but whatever. Oh, we won't go there.
That's what she said. I'm kidding.
Yeah. What's up, Doc? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. It's Friday. You gotta love that.
Dave is sick. Lape is Lape, and
he's parts unknown.
Yeah, he's out there skiing. So I don't really know. It's just us for now, but we got stuff to talk about. So we felt the need to just roll on and do our thing.
All right then.
We were just discussing off air about the quartering because he's somebody that I enjoyed watching his stuff. I enjoyed watching short content clips of him. I didn't have the ability to listen to him long term because I just got kind of annoyed at how he spoke. But I don't know. He was an acquired taste. I enjoyed his channel for what it was. I got a lot of content out of it, out of what he posted, because he would keep you in the loop. But apparently he's been false flagging a lot, and he harped on Monday and Matt for doing false flagging people. And so, like, if you're going to false flag on people, that's not that cool. So you shouldn't do that.
Matt actually called him out. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Oh, he did. I heard something, but I wasn't sure exactly what.
And Monday and Matt is really fun. I mean, his channel was pretty much destroyed after that. So I don't know why the quartering is doing this, because he's really playing with fire.
Yeah,
he's got like a 2 million subscription channel or whatever. And Monday Matt just basically told him, "Listen, you don't want to do this. Here's why." I'm pretty sure I ignored him, but I know a little bit of the background to this if you want.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to know, because if you
know,
if you know who the Kino Casino is, it's a channel. It's exclusively on. Well, their main channel is on Kick, and it's only on Kick. But they do have I don't know if they have anything on Rumble, but they do have some clip channels on YouTube. And they've been going really hard on the quartering. and Melanie Mack and her other, not so much her other co-host because they kind of feel sorry for her, but Hannah Claire, but and Luke, who was apparently either just fired or quit. They can't figure out what, but because they basically don't like Jeremy Hambly because he's what they call Schrodinger's beggar, where he's rich or he needs money both at the same time because he's got all these, bragging about his RC cars and track and all the, Rolex watches he owns, and he had like a 5,000 gallon saltwater fish tank and all the fish died or whatever, but he's flexing his wealth all the time, but then he'll fundraise money for stuff, which irritated them. And it's just if you've ever seen the Kino Casino, it's a clown show. I mean, they just,
I've heard of it.
They just make fun of people. That's all they do.
I've heard of it. I've heard clips of it, but I've never actually watched their show.
Yeah, I watch it fairly regularly. It's fairly entertaining. I mean, but it's a nonsense show. It's not to be taken seriously. I mean, they dress up like there's two guys there. They dress up like stuff for Halloween, for every holiday. They wear ridiculous costumes and ring a bell, and it's like a wacky morning radio show type of atmosphere. It's not to be taken seriously. So I don't know why, but apparently the allegations surfaced that he was in a swinging lifestyle and had a bull coming over to his house. If you want to know what that means, I'll tell you. I don't know if you want to go that deep into it, but that's basically if you're a swinging couple, a bull comes in and has relations with your wife or something.
Oh, bull. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But when they named a specific one that Jeremy is friends with, and that he said he's been friends with for 10 years, and then they did some research into his account, and he is definitely into the swinging lifestyle, and definitely he's definitely a bull for other couples. It's like you can infer that's what he's doing.
Wait, Jeremy from the Quartering is a bull?
No, he's got a bull coming over to his house. So, yeah, it's not, and that's when he started saying he was gonna take down their channels, and then like a day later, their clip channel on YouTube, Kino Casino Clips, disappears, and then Andy Worski, one of the co-hosts, his channel, which is really tragic because it had been banned for YouTube for like over 6 years or something like that, and he just got it back 6 months ago, and it's been yeeted off YouTube again.
Dang.
So it's like stuff that had been on there, and it was a good repository for like internet stuff that was 15 years old that nobody. But anyway, I don't want to go too deep into casino lore, but literally everyone, the people from Friday Night Tights, Jeremy, the other Jeremy that used to be on the High Council,
Griggs.
Yeah, Jeremy Griggs came out and was like, you don't want to do this. It's like he's just ignoring all of them. He's like, and I think he drinks a lot. The Quartering does. So I don't think he's using good judgment because of that, because every night he's probably drunk. So he goes and does all this stuff, and apparently has some higher up. He knows some higher up guy at YouTube and he said that. He said, I got a guy at YouTube I can call, and your channels will be gone. And the next day, 2 of their channels are gone. So, I mean, it doesn't look good for him if he's going to do that, because false flagging is the one thing you do not want to do. Just ask Mundane Matt when he was caught at it. And
is Monday Matt on X?
I think he might be. Yes, I'm pretty sure he is. I mean, he's been reduced. I think he's an Uber driver now. He just does like
Matt Jarbo.
Yeah, Matt Jarbo. He does. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of Matt Jarbo. I never liked him anyway, but I saw what he said, and I really agreed with him. I mean, it's like he basically tells him, this is what happened to me. You don't want to go down that road, and here's what's going to happen to you. And Jeremy just, Hambly just ignored him. So I don't know.
I'm looking at their X to see if looking at his X to see if anything. But I I didn't see anything on Quartering's X account. Like, when did this happen?
With about a week ago is when it all started going down. And let me see here. Yeah, their channels got kicked off about a week ago, and he's apparently done this to other smaller people too. But the Kino Casino is huge. I mean, they get over 10,000 viewers on their show 3 times when they're 3 times a week. They would be live now, except one of them's on vacation. They're normally on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But
I looked at Monday. Monday, Matt doesn't really post anything on X.
mm-hmm.
I looked over
on YouTube,
to.
He posted it.
Do what now?
It might have been on YouTube. He posted it.
Well, I just clicked on his YouTube, and I don't see anything about $3 Theater. That's his YouTube. That's his YouTube channel, ain't it?
It is. Yep, I think
so. He hasn't done anything for 5 months.
Wow. Well, I'm not sure where it's.
Oh wait,
from.
I'm sorry. This is 8 days ago. Never mind. It was a live. It was on the homepage. It said the last video was 5 months ago. Okay. Hollywood After Dark.
So were they doing reactions to the Quartering, or what were they?
He did. Yeah, he did. Try to catch up to speed. The Quartering has been accused of false flagging people and taking down channels because they're making fun of him, and specifically allegations that he has a bull coming over to his house in some kind of polyamorous relationship with his wife and God knows who else. Oh,
I mean, talking an actual animal bull or just a big guy?
No, we're talking like the swinging term. I hate that I know all this stuff actually, just because of all that happened with Nick Rekieta. I know all these terms now that no Christian man should know. It's like you get into the Nick Rekieta down the Nick Rekieta rabbit hole.
You don't need to elaborate. You can elaborate later.
Like, you're really like muffled.
I'm muffled?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See if you can pull your mic away from your mouth.
Oh. Is an unclear, but
that's a lot better now.
Oh, much really? Better. Okay. I mean, like I was overpowering, too loud.
Yeah, you're just really close to the microphone.
Distorted. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Sorry.
But yeah, a bull is someone who comes and services your wife, and not something you'd want to be a part of. But
here's my 3.5 cents. Mm-hmm. It's none of your damn business.
Right.
So don't even. You hear a rumor, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Who cares? It's none of your business.
Right. But they were just joking. I mean, they joke about a lot of people and say a lot of stuff that's like allegedly, in our opinion. It's like we got to. They're just clowning. But this really, and they've been clowning about everything. They've been going hard on him off and on for like 2 years. But this. When they bring up a specific person that's visiting a house, that just for some reason set them off. So, I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, you get the most flack when you're over the target. So, I mean,
maybe. Yeah,
it doesn't look good for him.
No, I agree, it doesn't. But I don't remember the last time I watched a Quartering video.
I never liked him that much, but I mean, he was okay. I watched him on Friday Night Tights a few times, but he just.
Oh, he was on Friday Night Tights?
He was on a couple times. He was the original third man for the High Council.
Oh, was he?
When Jeff was running it, or when Uncle E was running it?
Are you talking about the other Jeremy?
I thought it was the other Jeremy.
No, it was Jeremy. Jeremy Hambley was on there first.
Really?
And then Jeremy came on.
I don't remember that. I remember
the only reason why
Florida.
I do remember it, but the only reason, I don't remember it very well. The only reason why I do remember it is because Jeff brought it up last night.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there for most of last night.
So does he? Speaking of which, I mean, I haven't listened to one of their shows in a while. I started getting back into a habit, and then I got out of it. But is Jeff in contact with any of those guys anymore?
He said that they're not they're not talking. He's like, I could reach out if I wanted to, but
okay. I mean, they just kind of went their separate ways. It's not like they had a blow up over
the whole thing about with Jesse and Neurotic really kind of
yeah.
That really, I don't. Yeah, that really
That caused me and Adam to have an argument because I was like, "No, dude, like."
About what?
Well,
you want to go into it or not?
I mean, I'm down. I don't mind it. It's not that big of a deal because like I could see both parties' perspective and it's whatever.
Was he defending Jesse or something?
Was that the meetup in Vegas, wherever that was? Okay, yeah. I think it was handled poorly on both sides.
It was. However, Jeff was a victim of being with Jesse.
Oh
yes. Definitely.
That's the only reason why they said anything about them leaving is because Jesse got on there and ran her mouth about Gary and then decided they were going to show up at his meetup. And it was like,
she was trouble from day one.
You can't do that. Like, you can't run your mouth about somebody and then show up at their meet.
Oh, I thought she ran her mouth after the meetup.
It was before.
No.
It was during the, on one of the high council, it was the high council where everything fell apart. All right. It was with Tom and Mecca. That's where it happened.
Yeah,
and then Jesse got on her page right after the high council and started bad mouthing Tom and all these other people. And I don't know if what she said was true or not true. That's not that I'm not here to discuss those kind of particulars. Yeah. I'm just going to lay out the timeline of events. That's all.
That whole thing is heartbreaking for me because I like Tom Connors.
Does he still even do YouTube?
Yeah. His YouTube channel was struck a while ago, the Midnight's Edge After Dark, which I'm pissed about because I was a mod on that. I mean, Tom Connors I don't know him as well as I know Jeff. I mean, I've met Jeff several times.
Yeah.
I have Jeff's cell phone number for crying out loud.
Oh, wow, nice.
But I haven't.
I have all of them.
Yeah. I've messaged Tom Connors and he always replies or always, reads it, or I'll send him stuff about the movie Jaws because I know he's a big fan of that movie like I am or whatever. But
yeah. I don't, like Adam was just like,
oh, Shawhan? Are you talking about Shawhan?
Yeah. Adam would just get straight on mad about how that Gary shouldn't have done that to Jeff. And I was like, well, honestly, like Gary didn't do that to Jeff. Gary did that to Jesse.
Well,
yeah, it went through. It got to Jeff vicariously, but
yeah,
I'm still kind of mad at him for that myself. Actually, I'm kind of on Adam's side on this one.
Well,
he shouldn't have done that.
I can see that. However, but this is where me and Adam differ because Adam could never understand. Like he thought it was a Fandom Menace meetup, and I was like, no, it was a Nerdrotic meetup.
Right.
I think it was a Friday Night Tights meetup.
Right. But you got to realize there's a lot of crossover and a lot of people would be pleased to see Jeff there. I mean,
well, no, but they weren't expecting to see Jeff.
Right.
Because Jeff's not part of Friday Night Tights.
True.
He's never been on it.
So that wasn't specifically, it was
specifically a Friday Night Tights event.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, like, I get it. I'm right there with you, man. It would not surprise me to not see Jeff at an event like that. Like, it's cool, but I can see where if Jesse hadn't gone on her page and started like bad mouthing them, none of that would have ever happened.
There's a lot of issues there that I don't want to get into. But
I mean, feel free. Like, if I'm missing something, correct me. I don't care.
She wore her heart on her sleeve and tended to overshare. I mean, I remember a video she did. I don't remember the full circumstance because it's been years ago, where this was dealing with her fencing, where I can't remember. She didn't make referee or judge or something. I forget.
Right.
And it's something that it takes a long time to get to. And she did a video on it. And I was just like, now granted, some of it's that generation and some of it is also the younger generation of females. They do this constantly, like on TikTok. I mean, it's amazing. I'll see video reactions on YouTube to videos. I don't even know where they are, Instagram or wherever. And I'm like, I just went out with this guy, and I don't, and then I'm like, it's stuff that I would never share, right? If you had a bad experience, but if it gets 400,000 views and makes you $300.
Here's the thing. Here's what all I got to say about Jessie. I like Jessie. I've met her 2 or 3 times. She's a very sweet person, but she causes drama. And she's admitted that. She'll come out and say that. But
when there's peace, she causes drama in her own life more than once.
Like, I'm not trying to say, like, I wouldn't say anything. I'm not saying anything here on YouTube that I wouldn't say to somebody's face. So I'm not trying to sit here and badmouth anybody. I'm legitimately just reading off of like what this happened on this event, this happened there,
Yep.
this happened because of that happened. Like, I don't really care if they want to get on their YouTube page and they want to talk badmouth whoever. That's fine. You do you. The problem is you can't badmouth somebody. This is where me and Adam kept getting into heated arguments about.
Right.
You can't badmouth somebody and then show up at their event,
right,
and then be welcomed.
Well, and to be surprised when you're asked to leave.
I agree with that too. However, they should not have asked Jeff to leave. They should not have asked her to leave. They could have just been cool about it.
But
they pissed off a lot of world-class bullshitters fans, including me. I mean, who came out the winner? I mean, obviously them, because they're
I see your point. I see your point. But you got to look at logistics and not like you can't look at the feelings of this. You got to look at like real, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You got to look at logic, because when they booked that place, they rented out the space, they paid for all essentially it became theirs for the night. So it's not like they went to a public place and set up a hey look at me, like meet me booth.
I'm not saying they didn't have a legitimate legal right to do that. I'm just saying I don't agree that they did that.
Well, I would say they could have handled it with far more grace.
Right. There you
go.
Yeah.
Instead of being lambastic and confrontational from the word boo, you could have, from the start, you could have said, hey, look, if you want to buy a ticket for this, because was it a paid event?
Yeah,
I thought it was, right?
Ticket.
And they said, okay, so I didn't remember that it was a Friday Night Tights meetup. I thought it was a Nerd Right. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
I always got
it's not a meetup that involves right. It's not a meetup that involved them directly. Right. So if they want to attend, they either pony up whatever money they needed to do to get the space, or buy a ticket. And if you buy a ticket, okay, if people come to you and ask for an autograph or a picture, that's one thing, but you don't set up to solicit that. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of where I see these problems on both sides. One, they kind of crashed the event, or, perhaps on purpose. I don't know.
Well,
the other one is that it was handled in a very abrupt and antagonistic manner, as opposed to, because granted, Gary was supposed to show up in Chicago. His son was sick. He didn't make it. So I've never met him.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly certain if he would have pulled Jeff aside and just said, here's $50, it would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, honestly, but I don't know, but it feels that way.
From what I heard, it was Nerdrotic's wife wanted Jesse to get out of there.
She made first contact.
So Gary,
they were chatting. I thought she had mentioned
had to sack up and ask a giant man to leave.
Yeah. From my understanding, that's exactly what happened. She made first contact, riled Gary up, and Gary went over and made him leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she made first contact in a negative way. Then again, I wasn't there. I don't know. That's just that's speculation.
But,
yeah.
I heard that she met him with negative energy, if you will, and riled up Gary, and Gary went over and took care of business.
I can believe it, because she could be very confrontational. Jesse could.
Well, no, I'm talking about Mrs. Nerdrotic.
Oh, Mrs. Nerdrotic.
Yeah. So I think.
Well, that's why I'm saying. That's why I said
when
more
Mrs.
grace.
Nerdrotic and Jesse matched their energies together. That's like the gayest terminology.
That's what happens when you get. Men can usually get along. When you put two women together, look out.
Especially if they think there's a competition of some sort.
I would bet money if Jeff showed up there by himself, he would have been welcomed.
There would have been no problem.
No problem at all. He would have been welcomed. But it was who he showed up with. So that's what I stick by my statement of the only thing that happened was Jeff was guilty of being associated with her. And that's why
that was a very
that's why they got removed from that.
Yeah.
But
and it continues to be because
it's like a trip down memory lane of like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. It was a while ago.
Gosh, that was so long ago.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but that was like what, 2018 or something?
I'm thinking like 19 or 20. Like right before the shutdown.
Well, Jeff and Jesse met in Chicago, so that was 2019.
I call those the dark days of WCBS.
Yeah.
I quit their Patreon because of that.
Oh, really?
It just got boring.
Yeah, 2019 was Rise of Skywalker. So that would have been was after Jeff. I thought that was after Jeff moved to LA, which was in 2020.
Yeah. That dude, I'm telling you, that was dark times because I begrudgingly listened to them because I enjoyed it. But it was like every once in a while, little Dion would show up, and I'm like, oh my God. Like Dion's bad enough. I like Dion. But sometimes he gets on my nerves.
Well, he likes a lot of movies that generally aren't that.
Yeah, they generally suck.
Yeah.
Was Little Dion, was that his son? I don't remember that.
No, they made Jesse be Little Dion.
Okay. Yeah, I remember one time listening and they said she was fake Dion or faux. Yeah, I forget.
It was funny occasionally, but it was like, dude, I'm not here to listen to 3 BSers and 1 chick.
Yeah. Well, and it was after that. So for a long time I was the official 5th BSer. And then after Chicago, that's when the Channel Dad stuff started. And she became the 5th bullshitter. But and I used to be on the channel quite often until after that too, from time to time. I didn't say quite. I mean, quite often as someone who wasn't totally involved with the show, right?
Yeah.
But what I also miss, and I don't know what happened with all this. Years ago, when people were sending stuff to Jeff, he did Tales from the Post Office. In fact, the last few times I ever heard anything from Frank years ago, he was asking me, hey, when's Jeff going to go? Because he sent Jeff a bunch of stuff. Basically, it was when his life was kind of going sideways, and he and his wife were living in a trailer like a pop-up trailer, not like a mobile home.
Who are you talking about now?
Frank, Reality's Frank. He used to do the fan cast.
He was on a fan cast. He was pretty cool.
Frank Rivette.
I don't know if I remember.
I remember I brought him back on here, and he got mad and left because we kind of veered into politics.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He didn't want to do politics, huh?
But what was his favorite? Plan 9 from Outer. No, that's not his favorite movie. Is that Plan 9 from Outer? No.
Plan 9 from Outer Space is his favorite movie.
No. It's the one with the guy. It's the guy.
What is that one? I know which one you're talking about.
The guy with the goat feet and legs and.
Oh, Manos the Hands of Fate.
Manos the Hands of Fate.
That's
yeah.
Right.
And the reason being is because why it's his favorite movie is the guy did it on a dare, right? And he had a hand cranked camera.
It was a fertilizer salesman made that movie.
Yeah, right. It was like someone dared him to make a movie and he did it. But
did a hand crank camera and then dubbed all the dialogue in later because it didn't even have any sound.
Right. So the effort it took to make that movie was tremendous for someone who didn't make movies. And I said, and at that time, even though I was still living in Cincinnati, I had less and less contact. So I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on. And then Jeff moved, then we had the thing with Chicago and they moved and they came back, they broke up and all that. But before then, probably like 2017, 2018, if you remember, with the Patreon, Jeff used to do, they had a special veterans thing where he had, fans of the show on that were veterans. He had fans of the show. He had the time when, because I was actually in there for quite a while, just listening to people. We were bringing people in for like 10 minutes, and then they were, and
Yeah, I
and
remember
Phil,
that.
this was before the restructure, so it was because Phil was on there. Phil even said one time, "Dude, we take turns." So, I mean, because back when they had 5 or 6 people on, if you notice, unless there was a really need to interrupt, it was pretty much bam, 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 right? You said your piece, and then the next person, right?
Yeah.
And they had a flow and a rhythm, and then I guess it was probably even before then, 2016, maybe 2027. I don't even remember.
My time. I didn't start watching until after The Last Jedi.
Right. So it was probably between the first 2 Disney movies, right? So it was the Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, because that was the thing was Dustin, right? Grumble, 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 something, something, grumble, grumble, Trump 2016. Yeah.
Curtis Lendingfield.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a new name. That was one thing I never understood. I never met him. He's the only one of the original regular crew I've never met.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I have
stop staring at what.
And I've met the gentleman Brian Callahan, although he wasn't a regular. He was there for the first few episodes, but he had other issues. He was there at Jeff's 30th birthday, so that's when I met a lot of the guys that were 28. That was 2018. So, but by then it was restructuring into the 4 that we have had ever since. But yeah, and Phil and Nick don't get along at all. But just there's a little inside baseball. But the
who and Nick don't get along at all?
Phil.
Nick and Phil.
Oh, Phil and Nick. Okay.
It's kind of mutual. So I don't understand it, but it's mutual. They didn't like each other before they ever met. Let's put it that way. Because when I was, and I didn't realize it at the time. So when I went to Atlanta, when Nick's movie, what was the name of that movie? Strip Club Massacre.
Oh yeah,
that came out and it was in a theater in Atlanta. I went down there, so I was the first fan they ever met. The whole group, and so they were all but Dustin were there for that. So, but especially once I realized I didn't have to. Well, I arrived well oiled. We'll put it that way. I ran as some former classmates from high school that lived in Atlanta, and they were looking at a house not too far from where I was staying. They're like, "Hey, we're coming by in 10 minutes." And we ended up at some bar, and then they drove me to where I needed to be. And then, it was a nice theater. But, so that's kind of how all that stuff started. But I didn't realize at that point that Phil and Nick and Dan and so they had, I think they had I want to say they had, well, no, I also, Dion wasn't there. I didn't meet Dion until Indianapolis.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So that was Horror Hound when was that when he wore the turkey suit? I think that was the year before I met you when it was in the bigger. Did you go when it was in the hotel?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I think
so I did meet you then. There, yeah. I just didn't remember. But then when it was in the convention center where they had all that space,
right?
And I brought all that beer.
Man, I want to go to a meetup.
And y'all didn't drink enough.
You gotta go.
I had made like 4 different types of beer, and I brought, I don't know, like 200 bottles of beer. I probably broke several laws during that, but because we were giving it out, and you guys threw a lot of them away. I brought a lot of those empty bottles back, but that was a fun time. That was probably the best Horror Hound of those that I had been to when I helped them with stuff. The second best was when it was in Cincinnati, post-COVID. Jeff and Jesse were still together, so she was there, and then my daughter showed up. And I think I've talked about this moment, and I know I'm sidebarring here, but several years before then, I was on they had me on for some reason, I don't remember, and my daughter was in the basement with me, and she was laughing at something, and it kept bleeding through my microphone. And Jeff says, "Shut up, child of late."
Yeah, I remember that.
And here it is, 3 or 4 years later, because I don't remember exactly when that was, but in 2020, they're off doing something. Jeff's mom, my daughter, and her boyfriend are running the booth. It was like, and I did not take a picture. I was like, the most surreal moment of my life was right there, and I didn't take a picture. It was hilarious. And they were sitting, well, she and her boyfriend were sitting on the cooler that we had all that stuff. Because, yeah, God love him, but sometimes Nick doesn't think well enough in advance, and he brought all this Creature Comfort beer and a cooler and absolutely no ice. So he calls me, "Dude, are you coming?" I said, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to leave." He says, "Get ice." And I'm like, "How much?" He says, "I don't know, 20 pounds. So I show up with like 3 or 4 bags of ice, and we had a good time.
Nice.
Assuming you're not going to Indianapolis anytime soon, Lake, because you're quite a way away.
Yeah, I got to find a way to make that. I've got a friend of mine that lives in Indianapolis that I haven't seen in years.
There is a Days of the Dead. I don't think they're having any horror hounds there anytime soon, unfortunately. But there is a Days of the Dead thing this July in Indianapolis from July 17th to the 19th.
Oh,
a lot of people there. Alec Baldwin's going to be there.
Is World Class going or not?
I asked Jeff last night, and he said he might go. Nick sounded like he's not going to go, which I'm kind of disappointed.
Because I've been to Days of the Dead in Atlanta. It's been years ago. It wasn't bad. It's very small. At least it was when I went, which was
not as big as a Horror Hound, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty much in a little hotel. When I was there, golly day, I don't remember exactly how long ago it's been.
It's a fantastic cinema convention. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, what's nice about that one, at least, is they have the independent horror movies. Like if you get the right, I think you had to have a certain level ticket, or I don't remember, but so they play those, and those are cool. And then there was something they were doing you had to write a shuttle for, but like nobody went because it was too disjointed. But yeah, that was one of the places that I got there a little early, like by a couple hours. I don't mean like 3 days or anything. And now it's not as true as it was. So here's what, because it's almost backfired on me now because cameras in phones are so prevalent. But when I used to walk around with my D7000 with a decent lens on it, no one would ask anything when I was walking around. And I mean, I found all the back ways to stuff. Even where I was staying was near the pool, and we went back to my room to get some beers and some other stuff. And there were policemen, you're not supposed to have glass. And I said, he's like, "Oh, we can't go that way. They're going to bust us." And I said, "Got you covered." And we went around the back way, down where the kitchen staff went around, and we ended up in the back of the convention side of it, I guess you could say. He's like, "How in the world did you find this?" I said, "Just walk like you know where you're going, and no one has a question."
Yeah.
It's amazing when we were there for Suit Saturday a few years ago, how when you're wearing a suit and tie, people just think you're in charge. Because
especially nowadays.
Security booth,
right.
And it's like, after all, I knew where it was, so I just pointed them there.
Yep.
Pretty funny.
So that one I knew a bunch of different back ways to get around because things would be clogged, and I'm like, we'll go this way and it's faster. And I did have somebody, I was coming out of an elevator as they were going in, they pointed at me and said, "Do I know you?" And I'm like, I was like, oh, and Nick said he does reviews on YouTube, and she said, I don't remember what she said, but it was a younger person. So I was like, I doubt you watch my videos, and by younger, I don't mean 15, I mean like 24, 25. Nice. And I never saw her again. I was like, wow. But yeah, that was a crazy time because I caught some convention crud. And so by Saturday, like 2:00, I was feeling horrible. And
convention crud.
Yeah. So right. So I had like a cold, right? So I looked on my phone, and there was a CVS within walking distance downtown Atlanta. So I walk there and I run into this black guy, some street bum, and I was unemployed at the time. And I'm like, can I, because the guy kind of sort of, because I had no money on me. I had a, bank card and stuff. And I sort of knew where CVS was, but he got me there, and I had counted the same kind of thing in Chicago. And it was a CVS like I've never seen. It was like 2 or 3 levels, and stuff was all over the place, right? So I needed a couple different things. And I asked this one guy stocking shelves at least twice where something was. And I thought I understood him. And I went, and like 15 minutes later, I'm like, where in the heck is this stuff? And I went back, and he's literally, you could see the frustration in his face. Like he couldn't take me there, but he told me again. And then this guy's looking at me through the window like, hey, when you going to be done? I'm like, I can't find this stuff. So I finally get out. I couldn't shake him. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy you lunch. And we go to Popeye's Chicken. And let me tell you, there's about 110 people in and around that building, and I'm the only white person.
Nice.
And I told him, I was like, I looked at him, I said, am I safe? He's like, as long as you're with me, it's cool. I'm like, because I ain't got nothing, right? And so yeah, I gave him like a 3-piece, and I got a 3-piece and sent him on his way, and I went back to the hotel. But it was a time. And I was Saturday night, because I was so tired. He and some people, I don't know what the hell they did in the room. They were partying, and then like Sunday morning, I was ready to go and check out, and I'm texting Nick, hey, because he had some stuff for me that he wanted to give me. He hadn't given me, he had some Creature Comfort beers he wanted me to review and some other stuff. And I'm basically like waking him up, and he's like, calm down. And finally I get him out, and the thing is, now there's a line to get out of the hotel, and I'm looking at the weather, and I'm like, dude, you don't understand. There's a sleet storm headed for Cincinnati, and I want to get there. So I don't have any problem until I get north of Knoxville. Mm-hmm. Okay. And literally every time I stop, because I'm old, and I've been, I was drinking too much and drinking energy drinks to make it home from Atlanta to Cincinnati. So I have to pee a lot. Every time I stop and I'm getting back in my car, the sleet starts hitting the car. I mean, it is literally chasing me to Cincinnati. And I get home, and it isn't 3 minutes. I've not even fully gotten all my crap out of the car, and the sleet starts. And so I text him. I said, I just missed it. And he's like, oh, it won't be bad. Within an hour, there was 1.5 inches of ice and sleet over everything. I'm like, I think I sent him, I don't remember. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I just barely made it. Because when I was going over Jellicoe Mountain, it was snowing and sleeting and all kinds of crap. So on Interstate 75, if you know where that is. All right.
Nice.
Hey, do you have a link to I've heard, I don't know if it's a teaser or a real trailer, but there's supposed to be a Spaceballs trailer or something.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah, I thought I saw something today about it, but I didn't.
It was even finished filming yet. I could be wrong.
Well, I saw some Entertainment Tonight or Entertainment. It's Spaceballs, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a thing with Rick Moranis. Yeah, teaser trailer 1 day ago. Here. Can I put that in the chat?
I think so.
Private chat.
Sorry about that.
I don't know where. There it is. Copy. Paste. Looks like it. I mean, are we supposed to play it?
Well, let's play it and react. I haven't seen it.
All right.
Share it with audio. We'll get busted or something.
All right.
Nearly 40 years ago, a promise was made.
God willing, we'll all meet again in space.
Nice. I guess that's the Yoda. Was he in the original one? I don't remember seeing him.
Yogurt.
Yeah, he was yogurt.
He was yogurt. He walked around on his knees.
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
President Scrooge. Oh, I've seen it 700 times.
He's in all his movies.
Okay.
The only movie he's not in is Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I like that movie.
More money, you know? Oh, wait a minute. It's me.
Oh,
Mel
this I've
Brooks.
seen.
I have a major announcement. Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money, is not going to be the title of this movie. Why not? Because after all these years, I found the money. There it is, the money. But everywhere I go, people say, Mel, where's the new Spaceballs? When are you going to make the new Spaceballs? When are you going to make the new one? Well, we did it. And the title is Spaceballs, the new one. It's just like the old one, but it's newer. That's why it's called the new one. There you have it. I'll see you at the movies, and may the Schwartz be with you.
Was that it? Okay.
Okay. Kind of like a teaser.
Yeah. Well, it said teaser trailer. I mean, it came out yesterday. Whoa, what the heck was that with the boots?
I don't know.
We may not want to know.
Got the intel package on Cole Reed.
Mutiny?
Oh.
I don't
Born and
know.
raised in
It's just movie trailers 2026.
Gotcha. So the cast interviews have started. So we'll put it that way.
Are you looking forward to the new Spaceballs?
I want it to be good. So
As long as it's good, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
And if they parry the crap out of the Disney movies, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really good if they do. They've got to do that. I mean, it'd be dumb not to. I mean, Spinal Tap 2 was really good, and I didn't think that could be possible.
I didn't know there was a Spinal Tap.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
When did that come out?
Last year. Right as soon as the Blu-ray and the DVD came out and all that, Rob Reiner was killed by his own son very tragically.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Which unfortunately delayed the concert footage because I want to see the whole concert because Elton John is in it playing himself. Paul McCartney's in it playing himself.
Oh wow.
It's really good. I mean, and there's a very funny scene at the very end of the movie. I don't want to spoil it, involving Elton John on stage where there's a mishap. Of course, there's always a mishap with those guys. And the first half of the whole movie is them trying to get a drummer because no one wants to be their drummer because their drummer always dies.
Yeah.
So
well, that was one of the running gags in the original.
Yeah. But in this one, no, they can't even get one because no one will be.
Yeah.
No one wants
to talk about it and they'll throw. Yeah. Well, one of my favorite. There's two of my favorite. Well, I guess three. Four, and this is becoming my Python skit. I mean, you have things go to 11. Everyone seems to know that one. But my two of the other ones are when they do the Stonehenge and someone draws them and they think it's inches instead of feet. And they try to get a dwarf to dance around them.
Well, they have another Stonehenge problem in this one. I don't want to ruin it for you though. There's a big issue with it. And
then they have the one where they have those chrysalis things that they're in and they won't open.
Oh, right.
They're
there's plenty of mishaps in this one too. Yeah, there's also a part where they can't find their way on stage.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Apparently that's based on a true story that happened to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, where they couldn't find their way on stage at some arena.
I saw it. I can't remember who it was. I did see an interview by some entertainer, where it was like there was like a big auditorium on one side and a smaller one on the other, and they came out on the empty side one time. And it was this empty, it was like a theater that only hit like 2,000 people, and on the other side it was like 4 times as big or something. And they got lost, but I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. I didn't realize there was a second Spinal Tap.
I saw it in the theater. It wasn't in theaters for long, but
this was Spinal Tap. Is that?
No. It was. I think it's Spinal Tap. The End Continues. I think is the official title.
All right.
It's pretty good. I mean, there's a few slow parts in it, but
yep. The
I like
documentary. Go ahead, man.
What?
No, he started to say something, and I.
No, that was it. That was
okay.
It.
Oh.
Sorry.
I liked it. It was good. It was way better than it had any right to be. I was like, why the hell are they making a Spinal Tap movie 40 years later? There's no way it could be any good.
You might think your bike's street legal, but these 5 mods could get you pulled over instantly.
Well, I mean, they made a third Bill and Ted movie, which I still refuse to watch.
That wasn't bad. It was okay.
I know you talked about it.
It was okay.
95.
I've forgotten most of it.
Yeah,
it's pretty forgettable.
Extended swing arm.
Pretty forgettable. That's what you are.
Messes with handling and safety regulations.
Because you told me that the sons became daughters or something.
Might not even for you if you crash.
Yeah, that was kind of lame. But I mean,
they're
really not
looks wild
in it as much as you would think. I mean, it's not like the daughters take over; they're part of the story, but it's really still about the original guys.
The show and the most illegal of them all are swing
plate. Although I like at least from the title, I like the concept.
Straight up illegal.
There's a new funny character where
for aesthetic.
There's some kind of robot android assassin who
mods
kills people and then feels really bad about it. I thought that was pretty funny. But mostly it's pretty forgettable because I've forgotten most of the plot of it, and so it couldn't have been that great. So
yeah,
I refused to watch the new Ghostbusters movie because I was like, I didn't like those kids.
I've got it. I bought it because I don't know, but I still haven't watched it.
Oh, the second one with whatever ice or whatever.
I didn't like the way they treated Aegon in that third movie. I
like that. Afterlife.
I don't want to go over it again. I hated that movie.
Yeah, I
hated it.
I didn't. It wasn't. I don't know. I guess I was indifferent.
And then Winston shows up in the fucking end credits.
Yeah,
in the fucking end credits.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
I know.
Yeah, and I don't know what was behind that. Right? Is that the actor?
The whole movie. Have him in the whole movie.
Oh, are you talking the Afterlife or the sequel?
Yeah, I'm talking about Afterlife.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's in the sequel or not because I didn't.
Well, Annie Potts is in it for like 4 minutes and then shows up in the end credits too. Well, doesn't Sigourney Weaver show up in the end credits?
Here's my problem. They turn Egon into another deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
They got to do this to every character. They turn Han Solo into a deadbeat dad. They got to turn Egon into a deadbeat dad. Who else have they turned into a deadbeat dad? Indiana Jones is a deadbeat dad.
I didn't take it as a deadbeat dad so much as obsessed.
Superman Returns. Superman is a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, I took it more of he became obsessed with trying to trap.
Yeah, I know, but how is his daughter living in poverty?
He was living in poverty too. He just happened to be out in the middle of Oklahoma or wherever the hell that was supposed to be.
And his daughter's too old for that timeline to work.
I mean,
he would have had to have her before the second movie, based on the age of the actress. But I don't know.
Yeah, how old is she? Is she in her 40s?
She's in her mid 30s, I think. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter. And they steal plot points that were in that video game, which a lot of people considered the third movie. But I don't want to go into that.
Yeah, I didn't play that. But I mean, a lot of it, what I liked about it, I thought it treated the originals fairly well, and
compared to
had
the 2016 Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah. But
that's why some people liked it. It's
that might be part of the problem, right? When you compare it to
that
crap.
Is the problem. It's like
right.
you have a crap sandwich,
right.
McDonald's, a plain McDonald's hamburger is going to taste pretty good.
Yeah, when the standard you're comparing against doesn't, is pretty much zero. But and part of it too was how do you handle? Ramus is not around. He died years ago. So how do you handle it?
Didn't have the. It wasn't like a Ghostbusters. It didn't have the feel of a Ghostbusters movie. It was like it was a sad, plodding movie where a lot of darkness where there was a lot of darkness and people being morose, and it's like Ghostbusters was snappy. It was like a quip every 2 minutes. It's like, what the hell?
And I don't know how much of that was the writing or the cast. I don't know if I've ever seen anything about how much did they improvise. I mean, you got Aykroyd and
not as much as the 2016 Ghostbusters, because that was like.
Well, that was
improvised.
Yeah, well, even the director said, "Yeah, I just turned the camera on, and let them do stuff," and I'm like, "Gotta have some direction." Because Dan Aykroyd sometimes will improvise, like a lot of his stuff in Caddyshack was improvised. And in my understanding, the thing between him and there's a scene between his character and Chevy Chase. They had already had bad blood because of stuff that happened on SNL before then.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding is like that scene had a framework,
right?
But it was pretty much improvised between the two of them.
Yeah, there was a lot of tension there.
Yeah, but
they got into a fist fight at one point, and they had to be separated.
Well, I think that happened on SNL.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. On SNL, that happened.
Yeah. He didn't like the way he was doing his the Weekend Update type stuff, but so I don't know how much of that original, because I always thought Ghostbusters 2 was, it's almost like the fans kept saying they wanted one. The studio came back to them and said, "Hey guys," and I always felt like Ghostbusters 2 was, "Hey, let's make it good enough but not great, so they don't ask us to do a third one."
Ghostbusters 2 was not that great in my opinion. So
right, it just felt like hey, we made it, you made money, but it's not going to be spectacular.
Put something else giant in it, so we got to have the Statue of Liberty walking around.
Right. Mm-hmm. We're not making a third one, but let's not just say it outright. Let's make them.
There's another thing that upsets me. Now you got me started, Brian, because in the third movie they act like, oh, it's a mythical thing. Did this even happen? Were there any? If the Statue of Liberty got up and started walking, they wouldn't be saying, "Did this actually happen?"
Right.
That would have been a major news event.
Yeah, I never saw Ghostbusters 2016, so
no.
To me, that's not it doesn't exist.
I'm talking about the afterlife.
Well, and they kind of took a dump on Ghostbusters 2016 too, where they said there hasn't been a ghost sighting in however many years.
I like it when they released the box set and they didn't even include it except as a digital option where you can
digital download.
The people are complaining about that. It's like, I don't,
Look, it's extremely rare female comedians are actually funny.
Well, we all know that.
And I've had multiple women tell me that. It's like, I don't think it's funny to make fun of my period. That's not funny.
Ghostbusters 2016 was a bad idea all the way around. It should not have been a remake. It should not have been a reboot. If they're going to do that, that could have been one of a series. I mean, they could have done. That's what they should have done. Is like let's open other franchises of Ghostbusters. Here's this franchise. It could have been taken place in some other city. Here's.
Oh yeah.
Winston or somebody else could have been there to help set up the franchise, and they could have been. I mean, they could have kept pumping those.
You mean like a real franchise, like a business franchise?
Yeah.
And here's the adventures of Ghostbusters.
This is Philadelphia. This is Boston edition. Here's Winston to help start the franchise out. All new characters. They could have had Bill Murray make it like a cameo if he would have bothered to show up because he never wanted to commit to anything. But Dan Aykroyd would have showed up, so you could have had him make a cameo, have Winston in the first 20 minutes or whatever, and then when the 2016 one came along, if they wanted to do an all women franchise, just don't say that's Vinkman and that's whatever, and I mean, it would probably still would have been a good movie, but it would have been
right. You do one on its own merits, not a rewrite of the original. Mm-hmm. Put a chick in it and make her gay.
You need an all new story. There's hundreds of ghost stories they could have done.
Oh yeah.
Look at the cartoon, Real Ghostbusters. That was really good. That was a really good cartoon. Yeah. I didn't discover that till years later, but I was just watching one a few months ago, that Christmas episode where they somehow end up time traveling and actually bust the ghost of Christmas past, future, and present. And then they screw up Christmas and they have to go back and undo it. It's like, that's a really funny one. But,
that's funny. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause you could, especially with some of those cities, right? Boston and Atlanta and Charleston, there's or Louisiana or New Orleans or something, right?
Oh yeah. You could do it.
Thousands of ghosts, real life ghost stories.
There's a lot of cities that are more haunted than New York. There's a lot of cities that are older than New York.
But hey, well, I mean, look at the stuff they're trying to do nowadays with the Rings of. Well, there's now another. They're coming out with another Middle Earth movie, Lord of the Rings movie, when the Search for Gollum or something.
It's going to be horrible.
Yeah, it's just like I don't get it.
That's the real search for more money.
Right. Well, I can understand a couple years maybe 5 years of these things that they're doing that are low risk and they end up failing.
Right.
But continued to go, okay, we're not going to do anything original at all. And when we do something, we're still going to follow this formula, which we have now. I don't know, when did all this wokeism start?
Roughly 2016, 2015, 2016.
10 years, really 10 years of evidence that shows it doesn't work.
It really started getting bad around Trump's first term.
Yeah, it's like the only thing that really worked for a while was, and maybe this is part of the problem, the Disney Star Wars movie, that first one, and $2 billion in gross tickets, right? But the second one made less. The third one, instead of going back up, went down even more.
Right.
Solo, a Star Wars story, didn't make money.
Yeah, they didn't even have to make those good. If they just would have just put Han, Luke, and Leia in there and just done something and had Luke do something badass and not make him a sad old man.
Well, if the whole thing,
then it would have been like printing money, because I would have seen it like 3 times at the theater.
If they didn't put Kathleen in charge and her whole goal was to piss on Lucas, and I don't know how much better his ideas about the discovering things about the Force and the will of the wills or whatever it was that he was kind of experimenting with.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know how well that would have flown at all. I mean, because in my view, and I've watched a thing recently about, was it Making of Classics? It was on YouTube, but it was a multi-part series that came out like a year or two ago, because they had Marsha Lucas and some others. I didn't realize she was involved in as much as involved with Return of the Jedi as she was.
Oh yeah. And
she actually saved that movie too. She basically saved all 3 of them, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, she did.
And
if you watched, there's a documentary now. Boy, I wish I could remember what it's called. I could run downstairs and get it, but in fact, I'm going to do that here in a few minutes, so I can't think of it. But Marsha Lucas is extensively interviewed in there.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about.
Marsha Lucas. It's Unearthed something.
I thought it was like The Making of a Classic.
This came out recently, what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. This was
Icons Unearthed.
Yeah, that's it.
Star Wars.
That's it. Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, Seth, I highly recommend. There's like in Marsha Lucas for the first time gives a lot of interviews in that one, and I'm gonna have to watch that again because it was really good.
Yeah,
and they talk about.
And apparently the affair was not. I think she handled it poorly. She needed a break from all of the stuff,
Right.
and George misunderstood.
Oh, those close fist strikes from Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
It's a wild, chaotic scene here.
What is that?
15.
Here's a link to the playlist.
Okay, but yeah, it's she pretty much saved that first movie in the editing because
well she did stuff
before she edited it, they weren't even, the Death Star wasn't even about to blow up the Yavin base there. They weren't in imminent danger. I mean, she recut all that so that they, if Luke hadn't blown it up just when he did, the Yavin base would have been destroyed.
Yeah. Well, and Anthony Daniels comes across a bit as a jerk in that documentary.
Yeah, well, he always does. He's always kind of
that was interesting because I hadn't really heard about a whole lot of the stuff of what happened between her and George, and it's almost like George's I don't know if it's narcissism or not, but his ego won't let him be wrong.
Mm-hmm. And I think what it is I think a lot of these edits, this is my theory, and it's not just my theory, but all those edits and the special editions in 97 and since then, where he keeps changing that first movie.
Yeah.
It's to screw with Marsha's legacy.
Yeah.
Because every time he does that, it's no longer her movie anymore.
Right.
And it's the perfect movie. So every time you make any change, you're going to make it worse.
Right.
So, I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, there was a whole, there were two things. Wasn't there a South Park episode like that was that? And then there was something else where some people made a movie about getting Lucas to not change stuff. I forget.
Right.
Fanboys? Was it the movie?
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I need to see it.
Yeah, I think it's called Fanboys. But because it was like, look, these scenes, because they even talk about that in the documentary where he releases the special editions and he puts back scenes that they took out, and it's like the thing with Solo and Jabba the Hutt,
right?
They took out. It's like reiterates everything they just did with Guido.
They took it out, but they put that dialogue in there with him and Greedo, so you wouldn't need that scene anymore because they couldn't finish the special effects on it.
Yeah, you're rehashing the same scene and then having. Greedo shoot first and all this other garbage.
That's the worst part.
Because if you watch, in my view, if you watch American Graffiti, I've never seen THX, whatever the heck that
I have. It's not that good. It's just weird.
But if you watch American Graffiti and you can stay awake, this is why
I like American Graffiti.
I know, but it is a slow burn. Yeah. And you go to episode 1,
like Star Wars.
Right. If you do that, maybe Willow, and then episode 1, you understand. It makes sense. If you go from that to Star Wars to episode 1, it doesn't make sense because you're not watching a movie. Although
in American Graffiti, he had a lot of people helping him with dialogue in that movie too.
Yeah. So I thought, did she edit some stuff or was it she edited? I thought
she was a really good she edited The Godfather, I believe.
Yeah. Oh no, she knows what she's doing, right? She
was one of the best editors of all time, in my opinion, just for Star Wars alone.
Right, and then what she did, what they mentioned in that documentary series is Return of the Jedi. There were things that she was almost sometimes taking outtakes because the tone was wrong for certain scenes, especially with Luke. And so she edited it around and changed the tone because the director didn't know what the heck he was doing.
Yeah, they had to bring her in for that too, didn't they?
Right. And it saved Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
I'm like, dude.
They should have had her there at every...
And so when we get to the prequels, it makes sense that she and... Who was the other guy that was helping her? I just want to say Kurtzman, but that's not Star Trek.
Right. I know who you're talking about, though.
But they weren't there for the prequels, and it shows.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not just a George Lucas show. I mean, it took a lot of people. Ben Burt with all the incredible special effects, like the lightsaber special effect, the speeder special effect. I mean,
He
all
basically
that.
drove everybody away from him, because the thing with that they show in the documentary about ILM and people go on and do other things and stuff, and right. So, but see, that's quite often with people who I won't say genius necessarily as like a high IQ, but when they have a high acuity to a certain trait or artistic vision, it takes other people around them, but they drive those people nuts just because of their personality. It's like Mozart or something, right? You know, or, you know, others, or Einstein, right? He's got all these things, and people that know him, it's like, oh my gosh, that guy's an arrogant SOB. It's like, no, not really, but he is in that one small space. But you have to have all this other stuff around it to make this thing make sense. But in here, they're God. But everywhere else, well, little g, right? But everywhere else that's necessary to make this make sense, they don't have any clue that this needs to exist.
Right.
So I think this is where it's when you get a director who understands all this, like Spielberg, well, at least in his early years, and others, it makes a big difference. You know, and then, but again, you know, in my view, it's very similar to like a professional football or professional athlete. He's in college, does okay, maybe does, you know, you get a Heisman Trophy winner, you know, goes to the NFL, and within 2 years they're cut. They're like, what?
Yeah.
But
there's another one. Spielberg is like made some of the, in his early part of his career, some of my favorite movies of all time. But the last handful of movies he's made are I would never watch him again.
Well, a lot of it's the creative team that's not there anymore.
Right.
But what I'm saying is the environment's very important.
And he tried real hard. I mean, he had a nervous breakdown making Jaws.
Yeah.
And they shot that extra scene in the pool where the guy's head pops out of the boat. It's like, hey, we can make it even better. We can put this one scene in here that'll give you another jump scare. And it's like, they tried really, really hard. It seems like nobody tries that hard anymore. It's like,
well, and the thing about it too, especially like with Jaws, is that in my understanding they had a lot of mechanical issues with the shark.
Yeah, that helped a lot. Actually,
right, it did help him because they couldn't show it for a long time, and he had to really. But it's almost like a Hitchcock movie, right? You know, you don't want to show constantly. You want to hint and hint some more and hint some more. And so when you finally reveal, you've built a lot of tension up over time. And now the audience is invested in that reveal. If they're not invested, you know. But yeah, it's in many ways too, I think this is the one of the curses of the digital age, where you can just do anything post-production. You know, and sometimes that's too, when you're not forced to think in a very, how do I do this in this very, I won't say narrow box, but a very limited ability, whether it's because of money or whatever. But if it's infinite, now sometimes, yeah, you make a decision over here, but the decision you really need to make is over here. But if it's this big, the chances of missing that decision are much smaller.
Well, I mean, they worked on the details. I mean, every single detail in Jaws is great. I mean, even the suit that the mayor is wearing with the little anchors all over his suit, just to make him look like more of an asshole. I mean, it's just, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you get to the movies like what's episode 11 called, or 12, or whatever the hell that's called.
Of what?
Of episode 9 of Star Wars. Rise of Skywalker, whatever. You've got space horses running across a ship, which makes no freaking sense whatsoever. Yeah. It's like, what the hell is this?
Tilt the ship. They're not on speeders. Jam their speeders.
I saw that movie once.
I'm the spy.
Never again. Yeah, that was just something. That might have been worse than The Last Jedi, but The Last Jedi just was more of a kick in the groin, I think.
Well, yeah, The Last Jedi was just basically, I'm going to kick Jar Jar in the balls and
here's your
change audience expectations. Yeah. Well, what that really showed in my view is that J.J. Abrams has no clue, right? He's good at setup, and that's it. Right. The opening parts, the first little bit of Lost was good, and then he went on and did
I feel sorry for his wife.
Yeah. He can't finish. Yeah.
He can't finish.
Somehow he got a kid, so at least he finished
Lost. I mean, Lost was. I've never seen Lost, and I'll never watch it because I heard it just meanders, and the ending doesn't make any sense.
Well,
so it's
and I can't remember how much. I thought he was involved with like the first season, and then he went on and did Alias. Although Alias apparently, and I never watched any episode of it, but apparently he did well in that.
Heard good things about that one, but
yeah, I don't know. But and that's a Jessica Jones sort of adjacent thing, I think, if I remember correctly. But
what is it?
I thought it was something having to do with Jessica Jones, not the TV show, but the I thought again.
I think you're right. I think I remember hearing that. You mean
I
never
watched it, but yeah, the comic more than anything.
There's another thing. Has anyone seen the new Daredevil yet? And what did you think of the last Daredevil?
I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah. I tried to watch Daredevil when it came out on Netflix, and I just couldn't hold it.
Because is that a new? The new thing was is that the movie or a show? Because it's like supposed to have everybody, right?
They did the original 3 seasons on Netflix, and now they did a new season on Disney Plus, which was not nearly as good. And here's the thing: they kill off Foggy. Well, they kill off one of the white characters and send the other one on a bus and replace them with 2 black characters. It's like
nice.
I thought I saw
right off the bat. You've got issues, and then
I thought I saw something recently about Daredevil and like Jessica Jones is in it, and it's like
that's the new season. That's the second Disney Plus season, so really it's the 5th season.
Okay, because I watched the first 2 seasons of Jessica Jones, and the first one was really good, but only because of David Tennant.
Right. Yeah.
And the second one, I didn't realize how much he was carrying that show. And the second one, I was like, by the third episode, I'm just like, I'm only watching because I'm already invested.
I only watched that bit at that point because I was watching everything. This all connects to the MCU, which it never did, by the way.
Right.
It was like the TVs were their own separate thing. They would make lip service to connecting, but it never.
Because it's like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, Jackson showed up for 5 seconds on one of them.
Right, and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after what's his face. I mean, they never would show up in the movies because everyone still thought Coulson was dead.
Yeah,
it's like was
pretty
much its own separate thing too.
Right, was it the second or third episode? Because they would talk about the Avengers. Oh, they're doing something.
Yeah, I mean, I watched all that stuff, hoping thinking it would all tie. I even watched the Inhumans.
Oh, because somewhere after the Alien, that one chick in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. who had some kind of special powers and with aliens. That's when I stopped watching because I think when they came. Maybe it was the season after that where what was the Nicolas Cage movie? The
watched the last 2 seasons.
Ghost Rider, was that the guy that was on flames?
Mm-hmm.
Now the Ghost Rider on S.H.I.E.L.D. was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
He had a car instead of a motorcycle. He was a
Hispanic guy. I
kind of like that character, but they didn't they didn't hardly use him enough.
Right, maybe that's why somewhere in that season is where I stopped watching.
And then they brought in Deathlock. But then they wouldn't let him be badass. They let him be badass for like one scene and then did something to him. And so they couldn't.
Oh.
But anyway, that's my complaint about that
show. Yeah,
but
because I kept thinking, man, they could tie this into the movies so many different ways. And they never did.
They never did. They never were going to do it. I found out later it's because there was like a division there between the TV people and the movie people weren't like each other.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Did any of you ever see the Inhumans?
No.
Don't. It's just like, it's so bad. It's like the Inhumans aggressively not using any of their powers at various locations throughout Hawaii. None of it takes place. Like 2 seconds of it's on the moon. But it's horrible. I mean, they shave off Medusa's hair in the second episode and he can't use it. None of them are using their powers for some reason. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
It's like they ran out of budget or something. I don't know what it looked like it didn't cost much to do it either.
Well, it's like a lot of stuff now. It's like,
and the guy that played Black Bolt was really good at. I mean, if it would have been a good show, he would have been, he could have carried it, but he could. No one could carry that crap.
yeah. All right. Well, there's some dead air.
Yeah.
You okay?
Sorry, I just kind of didn't really know. I haven't been able to follow y'all because I didn't know what y'all were talking about.
He has no interest
in everything.
Yeah, I was watching. There was a lieutenant governor in Virginia that apparently self-deleted after he took his wife.
Oh, real? Just now?
No, it's well, maybe like a week or so.
I didn't hear about that.
The former lieutenant governor with he was Ralph Northam's lieutenant governor, Justin Fairfax, apparently self-deleted after deleting his wife.
Oh boy.
I'm not wondering if maybe he was deleted and the wife saw and she was deleted.
Yeah.
I
mean, you guys got a CIA agent as a governor, so
yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that. They were taking the plaques off the wall at in Congress today of old Eric Swallowwell.
Oh yeah, I heard he had to resign or whatever.
Yep.
Over what?
Sexual misconduct.
Yep.
Okay, so
a lot of Me Too type stuff, but
yeah. So they've obviously he's no longer in the he's no longer in the club. So now it's going to come up.
Yep.
They for whatever reason he's been removed from the club. They don't trust him anymore. They don't think he's going to behave. Be a good boy. Not going to. But yeah, anytime it happens with a Democrat, that means they've been removed from the club. Because what came out with against Clinton should have had Clinton in jail for 20 years, easily in prison, easily.
What was that tweet from? James Woods.
Oh, I didn't see that
one. Where he's like, no arrests from Democrats, no.
Oh yeah.
No da da da. It's like Republicans are doing nothing. It's like basically.
They did this in the 90s.
Right.
When they took over the House and they had Clinton by the nuts and they voted to impeach, but they didn't prosecute him. And the Republicans in the Senate were like, well, this would be going against the will of the people. How many women need to come forward that he sexually assaulted them?
Right.
But when he was this is why he was put in. I mean, you have Gary Hart, who literally has a secretary sitting on his lap and a picture is taken, and that's what's published, and that was enough for him to resign. And then you had multiple women accusing Clinton of rape, and he gets elected president. Because they could control him. Gary Hart, they could not. That's why. So Gary Hart was removed. That's simple. So you think you have a choice, but you really don't. So anyway, rant over. Sorry.
That's good. I don't know. Well, we are getting kind of to that hour and a half mark. Anything else?
No, unless you want to talk about something that you're actually interested in.
Yeah, I got nothing, man.
I don't. Let's go back to the Twitter real quick. One last thing. Alex Jones is responding to new attacks on President Trump launched at myself and other sane American patriots today. Bam Margera still skateboarding. Dave Chappelle says that he resents the Republican Party for weaponizing his transgender jokes.
They didn't weaponize them. The transgenders weaponized them.
He says they did.
Yeah, he's not great.
He knows what's
the Republicans were the only ones who laughed at his transgender jokes. The transgenders got all bent out of shape about it.
Yeah. California Democrat lawmakers just voted to move forward with the Stop Nick Shirley Act because they're terrified of fraud. They want to criminalize investigational journalism against fraud. They're panicking.
Yeah. Well, that's how they're getting money.
What is that? What is that? What is the Nick Shirley Act?
Well, he was the one that was exposing stuff in Minnesota, and he started doing stuff in California. In California, they actually had to prosecute something to kind of make it look like they cared.
Right.
I forget what it was, but it's like this. This is just one of the avenues that they funnel all this money through. This is what Elon Musk was exposing with Doge, and why they had to get rid of him. I mean, I'm beginning to wonder how little money actually goes to the things that we supposedly spend on.
Apparently, on the 20th, the U.S. is intending to launch tariff refund system. We'll be giving back refunds out of the tariffs. Nice dividends.
Because of one judge who needs to have been removed. Yeah. One judge.
So we're going to get a refund?
No. Countries that are paying the tariffs.
Oh, never mind.
John Thune convened the Senate at 2 a.m. in the dead of the night with only 5 senators in the building and conspired with Schumer to pass Schumer's funding bill and then left D.C., preventing the president from making recess appointments.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Criminal.
That's about all. I haven't seen a whole lot of news. I did see something else. I'll take that back. I was listening to Dan Bongino's show yesterday. And apparently there was a juror of O.J. Simpson's. Have you guys heard anything about this?
No, I have not. This is the first I've heard of it.
Apparently all the jurors were like, yeah, he definitely he definitely killed Nicole and the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, he definitely did it. We knew he did it. But the reason why we didn't do it was because payback for Rodney King.
Yeah. Payback to white people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Everyone knew that.
Well, yeah. I didn't know. I had never heard that there was the correlation between the two.
They confirmed what we suspected all along.
Because of the Rodney King beating, they let him walk.
Yep.
Right.
And I thought that was an interesting interview. It wasn't Dan Bongino did it. He shared the clip.
Yeah.
And they discussed it a little bit and moved on. I was kind of like, wow, okay.
Yeah. This is where real racism sits.
Mm-hmm.
They want to label the whites as racist, and yes, you can find a handful, but my goodness, it's not the white people that are the real racists.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess that's about it. I don't know if we're gonna do coffee and gaming tomorrow. If David's not gonna be here, I know my wife's got some things she wants to do tomorrow. If David's sick, if he can't be here, it's gonna be kind of boring for 2 hours of me just sitting here.
I'm not going to be able to get up that early because I've got night jobs all next week, so I've got to start sleeping in tomorrow.
Nice.
And
you got to get your schedule, your brain adjusted to the schedule change.
Yep.
What is your schedule?
Well, it's normally 7 to 3 Monday through Friday, but starting Sunday, it'll be 8 to 4 a.m.
Dang.
For
8
Sunday night. Yeah, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. for Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night till we get these jobs done. Because where we're doing, we can only be done at night.
So will you be here next week?
Yeah, I'll be there next week. I'll be back to normal by next Friday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're not going to be doing it Friday. There's no way in hell we're going to be doing it Friday.
Oh, yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had a job years ago that was noon. It was noon to 9, and man, it was okay at first. And my wife this was not long after. I guess I've been married about a year, and then she got a job at, I want to say it was Animal Hospital. She had to be at work at 7. It was like 7 to 3 or 7 to 4 or whatever it was.
Right.
And man, I never saw her for like months. I mean, because I'm having to sneak in to go to bed because she's been asleep for hours by the time I get home. And then she gets up and has to be quiet because I know,
Right.
I didn't get home till like 10 o'clock at night, or later.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I've done a couple of these before, but this will be the first time 3 days in a row. So.
Oh wow. Hopefully it's only temporary, but yeah.
It is only temporary. These jobs,
Take
certain
some
jobs
D3,
can only
man.
be done at night.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's get out of here. All right. Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll see. I'll make an announcement and put it on the Facebook and wherever.
We'll be back next week with something that Seth actually gives a hoot about.
We'll definitely be back Friday night. I give a hoot about it all, and I enjoyed the beginning because we brought back some memory lane topics that I really enjoyed talking about.
I got plenty more about the quartering if you want. I just watched a whole Mad at the Internet about him today.
Oh wow!
All right. Well, we'll fill in the next week. We'll discuss more.
Yeah, we'll see what shakes out, man.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, check out all of our links down below. Buy David's book. It's listed somewhere down below. And come hang out with us next time we're live. We'll see you.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys later.
Oh wait, that was the wrong one.
Oh, he left already.
Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
Later, dudes.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Hell, I got to go.
Peace out.
Burn in hell, New World Order. Fuck you. Fuck you, New World Order. Fuck you, Bill Gates.
I love you. You gotta do better than that.